It's a smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. On a hump of the week, Wednesday morning. This is the smooth breakfast. Yours truly is Ayokunmi Kekireko. Ready to take a walk with you into the locker room and talk about sports. That's what we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:15 a.m. Hey, keep it locked right here on Smooth 98.1. Joining me this morning, as always, to talk about the sports news and, of course, give her own very interesting perspective and spread the banter around. Tega is in. Tega, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ayo. How is morning treating you, everybody? Hop of the week
Ah,
Wednesday.
hump of the week
Hmm.
Wednesday, and all we can say is 8:55.
8:55. Oh, it's 8:55. Do you know where your cars are? All right.
Oh man.
So, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having, well, at least all things being equal in other places. I hope you're having a great week so far because it's been a fantastic week. So this week we'll touch a little bit on what is happening in the Super Eagles camp. Yes, we are all hopeful that the Super Eagles are able to deliver over the weekend, but we'll talk about what's happening in the camp, the players. Look, I love the spirit of the players. I mean, I've seen with the results they've had in recent times, the way they just show up. I love that.
Mm.
So we'll talk about that. We'll touch a little bit on the US Open and what's happening in the US Open, and Roger Federer being in New York City. We'll touch a little bit. What else do we want to talk about? The Paralympics. Hey, we got a medal. That's all I can
Praise,
say.
praise
So
him.
so we'll talk about that. All right, all that and more inside the locker room this morning. But before we do any talking, Ayo, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
All right, to be a part of the locker room this beautiful Wednesday morning, all you have to do is send those messages in to us on WhatsApp. The number remains 0809 440 981. 0809 440 981. Also join us on YouTube or streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Join the live stream and catch all the fun that we will be having this morning and talking about the fun just to clue you into some of the stories that we'll be taking a look at this morning. As Tega alluded to, Morocco 2025, Ekong and 19 others trade in Uyo as Eagles prepare to take on the Cheetahs. Concerning the Paralympics at Paris 2024, at last, Nigeria wins first medal. And in the US Open, Fritz beats Zverev to end quarter-final heartache. Manchester United CEO says Ten Hag has club's full backing. Ugh. Quitting Portugal never crossed my mind. That's according to Cristiano Ronaldo. Foden, Palmer, and Watkins out of England squad. That's a huge blow right there. Excited Galatasaray fans welcome Victor Osimhen to their club. Injured Chouameni and Mendy leave France camp so early in the season, and injuries already begins. Although some say that it's just them not wanting to play games, but hey, conspiracy theories
I
abound. But
was going to say, I was
anyways,
going to say,
before we
yeah.
jump into that one, Sega, let's begin at home. Charity, they say, it begins at home. And let's talk about the Super Eagles. Now, only 3 players are still being expected at the camp of the Super Eagles as 20 players trained in Uyo on Tuesday evening ahead of Saturday's 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic.
Yes, and you know why? It used to be that when we planned against Benin Republic, we were almost guaranteed wins. But these days, everybody they
Hmm.
say there are no minnows in football. Um, but San Marino will still lose by 7 goals to 0 if they meet England. So so it's all these things.
How about the Super
It's all
Eagles?
this. Don't play. It's all these things that baffle us. So it's a tough one, and especially because the current coach of Benin Republic actually coached the Super Eagles, so he kind of knows the players. He knows who
Hmm.
he's playing against, and so it doesn't just come down to tactics on the pitch or physical attributes of the players. Is the mindset. He knows how the Nigerian footballers think, and he knows how to counter that. I think after the last time he played us, he said Nigeria, the Super Eagles are one of the easiest teams to beat. I don't know if that's because we were
Hmm.
owing him.
Ah,
Or you know how some people can never say any good thing about their ex. I don't know if that's what it was, but I mean, based on results, you can allude to that. So it's a tough one for the Super Eagles, and because of, like I said, recent results where we're supposed to be flying high in a relatively comfortable group, and we are wondering now if we are going to go to America like Eddie Murphy. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I like the spirit. Like I said earlier, I like the spirit of the Super Eagles players. I kid you not. Monday, Ekong was already in camp. Monday morning.
Ready for battle.
You don't understand. League matches finished Sunday night. Monday, this guy was already in New York. He was like, I'm battle ready. Players came in pretty early. They were just showing up immediately. And you can say what you want about the Super Eagles players on the pitch. But the way these guys just turn up like ready for duty. If people used to turn up like this for me, I'll be president too. Don't try me. So why you want to knock them on many things, their commitment to Nigeria, you can't knock them on that. You cannot knock them on that. So impressive. They're already in camp. There was already training yesterday. We've been getting pictures and photos since flying is tough, except you want to use broom. Well, so we've been getting photos and all, seeing them in training, and they've been putting in the work. So I think what's left for Nigerians is just make sure you go out there and support these guys any way you can, because even if you want to argue about what they do on the pitch, you cannot argue about the work and the shift that they put in to get ready for matches. Okay, so it was a good thing to see them turn up early, and the players that turned up early, and the numbers. So good thing.
It's a good thing to see. Okay, Tega, before we talk about the Paralympics, just to get your thoughts on this one. I mean, we know that Nigeria lost to Benin Republic in the qualifiers for the World Cup. Do you think this will play on their minds going into this game?
Oh yes, definitely. That's why I say at the end of the day, it will not even come down to tactics or physical attributes or talent. It's a mindset thing, because when you've lost to a team, you're now playing with your handbrakes on. You're now hesitant. There's something that it takes from you. Losses it's not just one result. It also does something to your psyche. So some people would react a little more aggressive. So now, instead of showing up on the pitch hesitant, they'll act aggressive because you've beaten them before. Some other people will be hesitant to go out, thinking that, look, if I attack too much, I remember what happened the last time. They will counter and they will score a goal. So it will play on their minds. And also adding to the fact that you have a different coach now, it's also an issue. So remember, I was saying Augustine Eguavon is the interim coach for now. And then they have Ogumodede from Remo Stars, and is it Ilechukwu now from Rangers as part of the So for me, I was impressed at the coaches that they chose. If you follow the Nigerian Premier League, you are talking about two of some of the most impressive coaches in the Nigerian Premier League. So I was impressive about the choice, but I'm still, like everybody, I'm still skeptical because of what happened with Nigeria when Augustine Eguavon was in charge and the World Cup qualifier against Ghana. So I'm still skeptical, but I was impressed by the choice. So let's see if he can deliver the results.
We shall see. All right, let's talk Paris Paralympics. And at last, Miriam Eniola Bolaji has won Team Nigeria's first medal of the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games in the para badminton women's singles SL3 event. Finally, Tega.
Finally. Look, like I told you, Paralympics, we must win medal. We must. The question is how many and where. It's not if we will win. Guaranteed we must win a medal. And it was tough because she was playing brilliantly. And then she put out when she qualified for the semifinals, she was like, we're going for gold. I was like, that's the spirit. I love the confidence. If you've been watching the Paralympics, it's just so beautiful to watch. The celebrations, the storyline. It's the most amazing thing. And so we're watching Eniola go. I think she really got everybody to support her from when she at first when she got to the quarterfinals. I think that's when I caught on, and she was like, we're in the quarterfinals, so we're going to make it. And so they should post, I'm playing so time. And so it was brilliant to watch her through. It was a disappointment when she lost and she had to play for the bronze medal, but she's like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And she went for it and she got the medal. So if you saw the way the minister was smiling in the picture that he took with her, he was like, you just saved my job.
You
That
shouldn't be
kind of
comfortable yet,
smile.
too. Shouldn't be comfortable yet.
Look, what? Look, this is an improvement from last Olympics. One medal, we take it. I don't care if it's bronze, we take it. It's an improvement already on the Olympics. So this is a good one for Nigeria. I was hopeful for Flora in the shot put, but she didn't even make she wasn't close. And I was really hopeful for her in the shot put. I think since the World Championships some 2 or 3 years ago, maybe she's fallen off a bit. But I was almost certain that she'd be in medal positions, but she didn't. So, but let's see how the rest of the the Paralympics, sorry, goes, because that was one medal more to come. I also wanted to talk about the fact that there's a man running in the Olympics in women's sports. I just want to
Oh,
say that
we're
yes,
here again.
yes, this man has 2 children and he transitioned a few years ago. So he went through male puberty. He's a man. He's a 51-year-old man. Okay, Tega, let's be correct. Let's be correct. Let's be politically correct. He's a transgender woman. So let me give you the honest information now. He's a
Okay.
transgender woman and he's competing in track and field, and he won a medal. He won the gold, to be precise. Now, according to the Para Athletics Association, they've come out to say that he reduced his testosterone level. So you know that thing that they say, if you have a higher level of testosterone, that then you'll be able to compete as female. So he's reduced his testosterone level to the acceptable measure. But I still say this every day of the week. If you're a biological male, compete against biological males, period. Because whether they reduce their testosterone level or not, physiologically, you have developed as a man. And there are massive advantages. I don't know how else to put it, but just think, Dwayne Wade has been retired for years. If he now says, I'm bored and I want to go back to sport, but I don't want to compete too much, he'll now reduce his testosterone level and start playing in the WNBA. How would you take it?
That's a good question.
So all this nonsense about, oh, he has reduced his testosterone level to acceptable levels is not. A transgender woman is a transgender woman. A transgender woman is not a woman. Only women should compete in women's sports. That's how they should do these things. But hey, here we are again, and we're going to talk about this a lot, which is maybe why Thomas Bach ran away. He's like, I'm done. The world is changing and I can't change with it. So he dropped his mantle and took up. All right. So speaking about the Olympics, let's remind you that we have exclusive travel offerings on Visa. Now, Visa are the official Olympic and Paralympic technology payment partners. All right. The official technology payment partners of the Olympics and the Paralympics. And so they're giving away all these exclusive travel offers to Europe. And so if you're going to Paris or if you're going to the UK, you can get up to 50% off attractions and experiences on several merchant vendors on their websites. All you need to do is use your Visa dollar card and also go to visa.com.ng and find out which of these travel offers work for you. You can get up to 12% discount on flight bookings and all of that. You can get up to 8% off hotel bookings. And so just go to visa.com.ng and find out which of these exclusive offerings you can benefit from.
Right,
All right,
Good
let's
stuff
go
right
to the
there,
next
Tega.
story.
Yeah, we need to take a quick break though. When we
Oh,
come back
yes,
in,
let's take a quick break.
We'll talk tennis and a whole lot more. This is the Locker Room. Stay with us. I didn't know the visa was still on because it didn't show in the lineup here, and they put ads in the spot, so I got confused when you took it.
Let me confirm. Maybe I'm the one.
Because throughout that was on, there were no ads in the spots, but there are right now, and they didn't put the visa intro. So I
Okay,
thought,
so I think that's the first thing you should have told me. So maybe on Friday we will not run it.
I didn't I didn't know you didn't know. I wasn't even aware until I saw it. There was no email or anything that
There's no
oh
email to the fax. Okay.
nothing like that. So I'm guessing maybe that's the situation. But really they should let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, they should let us know. Maybe his email. All right, welcome back into the locker room on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. We love music, we love life, and you know we love sports as well. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirekom. And of course, Tega is still with me on this journey as we're taking a look at some of the sports news making the rounds. And we've been having an interesting one so far. Tega, welcome back to the show. Just to let our wonderful listeners know how to be part of the conversation, join us on WhatsApp by sharing your thoughts on 0809 444 0981 0809 444 0981. Also join us on the live stream on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, let's talk a bit of tennis and the US Open specifically, where Taylor Fritz ended his run of Grand Slam quarterfinal disappointments by beating Alexander Zverev to reach the US Open semifinals.
And,
Quarterfinal.
and and yeah, and he did world peace for he did it for world peace. Because remember, Sasha Zverev has that settlement he had to do with his ex-girlfriend for domestic abuse. And that's not the first ex-girlfriend with the domestic abuse allegation. This is the only one that just stuck. And the ATP have done nothing about it. In fact, there are questions about how the ATP handles everything. And so every time he steps on court, everybody's just like, so are we allowing this abuser to play to play tennis? Those are the questions. But he's been in good form in recent times, and he's played so well that he's climbing up the rankings when the next rankings come up to world number 2. Now, a lot of people thought with the up with Alcaraz falling by the wayside and with Novak Djokovic being out, the draw is clearly open. And Sasha Zverev, who played was it the 2019 or 2020 final at the US Open, was going to get another run at it again. Unfortunately, he couldn't even get past Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz played inspired tennis on the day. Of course, the crowd was behind him because American playing in New York, but it was the way he served without mistakes. On the other hand, Sasha Zverev was giving away his usual once in 3 games freebies, and he couldn't get into Taylor Fritz itself. So, congratulations to Taylor Fritz. He's broken the jinx. You know, there's how you always get to quarterfinals and can't go past, and you begin to believe that maybe you're cursed. But he's broken the jinx now, and he's through. But he's through, and he's playing against Francis Tiafoe, another American. Now, Francis Tiafoe was able to get over Dimitrov Grigor, and a little more easier than I thought it was going to be. Don't look at the scoreline, but it was a little easier than I thought it would be. It was a little less competitive than I thought it would be. But he's through also to the semifinals. And so what that means with Taylor Fritz playing against Francis Tiafoe is that there'd be an American in the final of the US Open for the first time since 2009. Drink water, drink water.
Wow.
That's how long it's been. So you have to think about it. America used to produce the Andre Agassi's, the Pete Sampras, and now it was blank for years. It was the women that were carrying the torch for American tennis. But now you're going to finally get an American in the final. So I guess that will be an interesting watch to see.
That definitely will be interesting. I will wait to see how that actually pans out. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to some football stories here. Let's talk Manchester United, where the club's chief executive, Omar Berrada, says manager Erik ten Hag has the full backing of the club and is optimistic that the pieces are being put in place for the long-term success of the team domestically and in Europe.
Why does this sound like a news report that the government has put out for this fuel increase?
Press release. Press release.
It just sounds like it sounds like a new press release that the government has put out for the fuel increase. But yes, Manchester United fans, what they're telling you is that you should buckle in. It's going to be a long ride, and even if it's bumpy, at least you'll be buckled in. But yeah, it's ridiculous that only 3 games into the beginning of the season, and you're already looking for vote of confidence. But such has been the case for Manchester United, because I think a lot of people assumed that Erik ten Hag was going to lose his job last season. Then he went on and won the FA Cup, and all was forgiven. And the minute he won the FA Cup, they're like, oh, he has a trophy in his cabinet. What does Arsenal have? He has a trophy in his cabinet. What does Chelsea have? So with all this, trophy in the cabinet is a bird in hand is better than 10 in the bush.
We all
I
knew
think
that was
Manchester.
banter.
Yeah, I know. I think you can say it's banter, but when you look at it, Erik ten Hag is the only one other person apart from Manchester City, maybe Liverpool in some years, that's winning trophies. When you say all you want to say, Erik ten Hag has won trophies in every season. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, which is why I say details also matter.
This is a catch-22 situation.
Do you understand? When you want to argue, he will put his trophy on the cup and say, bring your own. And Arteta cannot.
Oh my goodness.
So at the end of the day, he has that in the past, at least in the past 2 seasons. And so they kept him on and said maybe this project will eventually work. But cup competitions are very different, like I say, from the leagues. And so he's going to struggle all through the season if we're talking about this. Except Manchester United is telling us that they can somehow exceed the transfer window and bring in new players. And if that's not what they're telling us, then the pieces are not really falling in place. So it's a struggle to see, but they've given him a vote of confidence. So maybe after the international break, he'd get a little more favorable fixtures. Because in his defense, he played against Brighton and Hove and Liverpool in those 2 matches. Can be a little tricky for any club side. A little tricky. So, but they've told Manchester United fans to buckle in. It's going to be a long ride, and he's going to be the driver. So
let's see how far he can actually take the club before the wheels eventually come off. Hopefully they will not, but hey, the signs. All right, let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portugal forward dismissed suggestions that he had considered ending his international career in the near future, adding that post-Euro criticism did not worry him. It's like this man wants to go to the World Cup in 2026 at age 50.
I'm telling you, if he says he wants to go, I'm not sure that there's much that the Portuguese can do to push him out. He is Cristiano Ronaldo at the end of the day. And his reputation will get him into many teams, if nothing else. So I think that's the interesting part. I really did think that, sometimes you just know when to bow out. But he has decided that he's going to continue playing for Portugal for as long as he does. And the Portuguese players, I'll tell you for free, they'll be excited to see his name on the list. And if they didn't see his name on the list, there was going to be mourning and wailing and groaning all around Portugal. So at the end of the day, it's a tough situation when you have a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo who has gotten to the pinnacle of the game. I'm still playing despite obvious evidence of age showing in his game. But he said he wants to play. UEFA Nations League starts tomorrow. He can get a few goals there, and Portugal can get a few wins in, and all will be forgotten. It's when they qualify for things like the Euros or the World Cup, and they don't go far, that they remember that Cristiano Ronaldo is old. But for the UEFA Nations League, they are fine with it. And I guess he should a man should be allowed to pick when he retires, and so let's give him the opportunity. He's served football well. It's time for football to save him. It's that simple.
Serve football well, but it's time for football to serve him. Also, very important to leave the football before the football actually leaves you. Wise words there.
Does football ever leave you? I saw Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo play football. Have you seen him? How heavy he is.
Heavy is
His
putting it
touches were
very, very mildly, Tega.
his touches were still silky smooth though. Forget
Let,
it. Football
let,
never leaves you.
let him come to Serie A and play, or Premier League. He should come and play. All right, let's talk about the England squad. Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins, and Phil Foden have been ruled out of England's upcoming Nations League fixtures. That's according to the Football Association. They said this yesterday. Sad one there for those players. Or
Yeah,
are they
I
really
think
injured?
so for Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins, for me it's a questionable thing. I think they came into the team, looked around and said, "We'll not even play." They say we will not even play. So why are we? Please, I want to excuse. I beg to excuse myself. Um, it's a tricky situation. Yes, there are a lot of injuries because of the amount of competitions as if these players have been forced to participate in. Remember that there was they're suing FIFA for saying that they are competing too much. And then some other people were arguing that, oh, but you get paid a lot. I was like, money does not revive the body. It doesn't. If you like, bring $1 million when I twist my ankle. My ankle is not going to straighten up because it saw $1 million. So just leave that. But so there's that about the number of competitions that these players participating. But there's also the fact that some players just look at this national team and say, I will not play. And especially if they're not winning. So with England, they are still the nearly team. I bet you that if they won the Euros, you will not hear the last of it. In fact, no, Euros is far. If they win the UEFA Nations League, you see their players scramble to be part of a winning team. But now they can take permission and say, you know what, I'm injured. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I'm sick. And they just go. It's a lot of things put together.
It's a lot of things put together. We need to take messages right now. Time has really, really flown by. And
all right, so let's take this. Let's wrap up with the messages.
Yeah, a number of thoughts have come through, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it have to do with the Super Eagles. I could be wrong, but let me see. So who is talking to us here? First message has come in from, this is AY from Nero, who says, those Super Eagles boys just need to be consistent with top-level performances at the international stage. Once they start doing that, the results will come automatically. David says, Tega, I thought they say what a man can do, a woman can do better. This transgender issue is becoming a difficult nut to crack. I don't know if there was a pun intended or not there, but we move on. Shola says, how come we don't see transgender men compete in men's sports? Now, that's a very good question.
It's a very good question.
Very good question.
Very sweet question.
Charles Chudizi says, Dear Tega Supreme, welcome to the 21st century where our gender is determined by how you feel. I was born male with grass on my face. You were born with grass on your face, Charles Chudizi. I'm afraid of you. But right now, I feel like I'm pan-social female. Please, can I start using the female restroom henceforth? Don't go and try it. Chudizi, don't even try it. This is, let me see. Okay, I think Olumide says, Tega of life, permit us to be the devil's advocate, transgender or not. We have agreed that what a man can do, a woman can do better. And he says Manchester United is still in this campaign. Others should. Thank you for your message, Olumide. Very colorful.
Okay, let's not play devil's advocate, except you're saying you're the devil, and we don't entertain devils here, which is exactly why Manchester United is losing. But that's not the issue.
Wow.
I had to slide that in, right? But the truth of the matter is, the truth about it, I say this thing all the time. People argue, oh, what a man can do, a woman can do better. At the end of the day, they separated men and women's sports for a reason.
Right.
Fairness in competition. I tell people all the time, Floyd Mayweather is a man. Anthony Joshua is a man. But they never fought in the same ring. For clear, obvious reasons. One was a heavyweight boxer. One was a featherweight boxer. They are two men. Why didn't you put them together in a ring? After
I
all, it's
wonder.
man facing man.
All right, all right, all right. Taya from Adjust says, in Eric Ten Hag, we trust. He's disguising Man United as the Dutch national team. Only CR7 can stop CR7. Brazilian Ronaldo is looking well and too nourished. Way too nourished, really. Senior men of the Three Lions are doing young shall grow for newbies. Call us for competition, not startup or friendly. And on YouTube, Uchenna Uwokoye says, Nigeria needs to get our selections right, not just names that can't perform. LK Adiroba says, please, is it true what was reported that Super Eagles coach appointed quit after 2 days because of reported requests for bribery? We don't know about that one.
About that, we know about the taxes.
He didn't quit. He didn't even sign a contract. He didn't. So
he didn't even say exactly. He didn't sign a
quit.
contract, so it
Charles
was
Chidozie
about
says
taxes that we had.
exactly. Charles Chidozie says the dreaded vote of confidence. We all know when a coach gets that he's going. Do know if he's gone yet, but left to me, the players won't meet Eric Ten Hag at Carrington after the international break. All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much, Tega, for coming in this morning and sharing your time with me on the radio. Always a pleasure having you.
Yes, thank you so much for sending your messages to WhatsApp. Thank you for streaming on YouTube. Thank you for listening to Smooth 98.1 and the Locker Room. Till I come your way again on Friday, and hopefully Ten Hag will still be in the job. It's bad for me.
We shall see. All right, thank you for your message. Keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1. At 9 o'clock, we'll get talking. It's Lagos Talks.